welcome to our Disc Freestyle online training course. It's going to run pretty much the same as our last course. The course is going to go for approximately 4 weeks. The first week I will post approximately 5 lessons. You guys will have a couple weeks to work through those. I might post lessons each week for this course just because I want to make sure you guys are working through certain stages. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. When it comes to Disc Freestyle, although it's very safe for your dog, you really need to make sure you train everything properly and safe and work through the stages. In fact, to the point that I would really like to encourage people to put your stages in so that I can see the stage before you move on to the next stage. So what I'm going to talk about with that is the first stage, 98% of the time I always train with treats. The reason that is because when discs start getting involved and the wind outside and dogs jumping over things and discs flying, and I don't know about you guys, but my discs aren't always 100% dead accurate with where I want them to go. So, you know, there's a lot of factors. So with treats, it's very much more controlled. The dog doesn't have to focus on the disc. They're all used to working for food, so they can really focus a lot better with with treats when you're training. So the first stage, I train everything with treats. Once my dog is confident doing the trick, jump, whatever it happens to be with treats, then, and I'm not saying everything, you'll see some things I don't train with treats first. I just go straight to discs and you'll see why. But so once they're trained with treats, then I actually move to the next stage, which is doing a take. So if I was teaching my dog to jump over me, over my leg, whatever it happens to be, I actually don't throw the disc, I just present the disc, and the dog just has to take it out of my hand. Again, there's no factor of my throw, there's no factor of the wind, it's just simply, they're gonna come over, the disc is presented, you just come over and take it. And then the final stage is we actually throw the floater. So when I put your videos through, there's going to always be 3 stages for you to see how to train it with food, how to train it with a take, and how to train it with an actual throw. So I haven't decided yet if I'm going to get you guys to kind of work through each stage before I post the next one, but anyway, I'll figure that out over the next couple of days. But safety is going to be of the utmost importance, and I really need you to work through those 3 stages, whether I'm seeing it or not in all the videos, which I would love to see every stage. Whether I'm seeing it or not, then I need to know that you guys understand the importance of working through that. The other thing with disc is we ran into some trouble with the last course with the heat. Always make sure your dog's safe. I know lots of people couldn't post videos because it was just too hot and humid outside and you just couldn't train for any length of time, and that's great, I totally get that. I am probably an under-trainer rather than an over-trainer. I don't work anything too hard with my dogs. They will go, 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 and if I don't kind of monitor it and ensure their safety, they will push, and they would push until either they became overheated or injured or whatever the case is. So don't overtrain. I usually do literally a couple minute sessions a few times a day. So it's kind of tough when you get going with these things. You know, you really want to get something and you push, 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 but there's always 2 minutes later in the day that you can work at it. So yeah, so don't push your dogs too hard, and train smart. So they always say, you know, practice makes perfect. Well, actually perfect practice is what makes perfect. So if you go into a training session prepared, you set your dog up for success, you're gonna see that I'm gonna give you some props to use to make sure your dog's successful. If they don't have a lot of opportunity to practice what you don't want, so bad jumps, you know, whatever the case is, then if they always practice perfect because you've set them up to practice perfect and you went into your training session prepared and ready, and you knew what you were going to work on, then you don't spend a lot of time trying to fix mistakes in your training session, and then you get even more perfect practice the first time around or after a couple of times. So that's my little preach on safety with our dogs. I probably won't talk a whole lot, with any of the jumps that we do, nothing's gonna be crazy high. I won't talk a whole lot about vaulting, we need to get a lot of foundations down, but I mean, I might kind of get you started on the first stage of teaching your dog how to know if they're going to actually vault or do a stall, which a stall is when they actually plant themselves on your body rather than actually using your body as something to bound off of. So we'll maybe touch on that stuff a little bit, but we're gonna make sure we get these foundations down pat to make sure your dogs are good and safe. Lots of fun stuff to come. Post videos, questions, as much as you want.